All right, Q&A part 3. There might be a part 3 and a part 4 because y'all asked a lot of questions, and I appreciate all of them. And I'm going to answer, I think, almost all of them. Okay, but starting where I left off last time, in these goings down, asks, first of all, says, you turned me on to the analog horror scene, which is a horror head I'm ashamed to admit I'd never heard of until you mentioned it in the High Strangeness video. Which ones are your favorite, and how did you find out about it? I found out about analog horror, I think it might have been through my daughter, because my daughter's somebody who's, she's a big horror fan. And I think she might have pointed some of those analog horror channels out to me. Or maybe I somehow found out about it just on my own in some manner or mode. I'm not sure. And then found that my daughter was also into those same videos. But yeah, it's it's already kind of. It's already in danger of being somewhat overplayed. I think it caught on like wildfire, and it ignited a lot of the creative spark in a lot of people. I won't say content creators, but a lot of budding visual artists out there really liked it and sort of glommed onto it and did their own thing. And now, you're starting to see analog horror parodies being made where where they're making fun of all of the staples of analog horror. So that alone shows you that it's it's reached a certain critical mass. Maybe it was through the Backrooms videos. Maybe when I was sort of looking into the back rooms and sort of the high strangeness stuff, involved with, the aesthetic of the back rooms or of dead malls or of, other sorts of things like that, which interested me. I think maybe looking into that led me to analog horror eventually. It's funny, but I really can't remember for sure how it happened, how it dawned upon my consciousness. As far as what is my favorite, I don't think I necessarily have a favorite. I don't think I know the individual channels well enough. And as far as the individual channels go, there are some that are highly watched. Like the Mandela Catalog or the Monument Mythos. And there are others that are barely watched, that just, have like a couple hundred views, for videos that were made a couple months ago. But where the person who made it seemed to have put just as much effort into the making of it. And that to me, there doesn't seem to be any gap in quality. I think what I like most about analog horror is just that it seems like a grassroots, creative genre. You don't have to go to film school, for however many years, and then, make friends in the industry and, build up a following or anything like that. You can just do your thing online. And that's the way it should be. Like Coppola says at the end of Hearts of Darkness that he wants, this is something that he said a long time ago. And I don't know if he really lived up to this ever, but it was a nice thought. He said, it's my hope that professionalism will be absolutely destroyed and that some fat girl in Ohio will become the new Mozart. I still remember that to this day. It was a very inspiring thought. So these analog horror people are like the fat girls in Ohio who are making this new art form. Zoella's Bleeding Vagina asks, would you live off universal basic income? I would if I had to, yeah. And would I or could I? Do you mean could I? I think I could. I'm a pretty cheap bastard. I don't need very much. But the whole notion, of course, of universal basic income, smacks of NWO, Great Reset, all this crap that I despise. So, of course, there's that caveat. But yeah, if I had to, I would. If all the jobs were taken away by machines and AI, in this dystopic future that some are projecting, and there are all these people just sitting around with nothing to do because they had become redundant, as the scenario goes, this dystopic scenario that some are proposing. Then yeah, I would take the UBI money. Sounds kind of obscene. Sounds like a contraceptive device. Okay, Zoella's Bleeding Vagina also asked, do you know what Morgoth's review looks like? I have no clue. I mean, I have an image of him in my mind, but that's it. No clue what he actually looks like. Only talked to him a couple times. I don't really know him any better than you. Okay, I'll just say ZBV also asked her last question. His or her last question. I'll just assume it's a she because of the vagina part. I know that's controversial these days, but that's the stand I'm going to take. She also asks, do you ever get sucked into the YouTube Shorts abyss? Yeah, I do. And I also got sucked into it insofar as, I mean, sometimes I watch YouTube Shorts, and one after another. I don't think I don't really. It doesn't become an abyss for me, but I've been sucked in, for a certain amount of time, and I've also, made some shorts that caught on. Like a recent one you might have noticed was this like 6-second video that I did when I was in New York. And there was some annoying mural of a nurse with wearing a mask and having this surly expression on her face. It's like, thank you, nurses. And I just showed this mural, and then I showed myself saying thanks for nothing. And that and that got a lot of traction, and it made a lot of people really angry. And I was happy to trigger them. So yes, I guess, and so I've tried to make shorts since then, videos of less than 1 minute, where I've tried to do it in an artful way that I thought would catch on maybe, and it mostly hasn't worked. Most of the shorts that I've done don't reach an audience beyond the audience that I already reach. Like my recent 2 videos that I did about, I think I have the title of A Totally Uncoerced Message or Testimony, where my character is actually being held at gunpoint or has been tortured, into saying that he denounces anti-Semitism in all forms. Those 2 recent videos that I did, which I thought, I enjoyed making them, and I thought they were well made, if I do say so myself. They failed to reach a wide audience. But my 6-second video that I just dashed off, in New York, and just spoke my mind, that caught on. So, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Okay, Paul Wright has a bunch of questions here. I don't know if I'm going to answer all of your questions, Paul, but I'll answer most of them. First question he asks, would you rather live in a castle with Nancy Pelosi or a dank dungeon with Nancy Spungen? Good rhyme there. I'd rather do the castle with Nancy Pelosi, because we can live in a castle and just I don't have to have anything to do with her. We can just live in the same castle, but I could live off in my own section of the castle, and you know, and she could just keep to herself, and that would be that. But if I were in a dank dungeon with Nancy Spungen, we would have to be, we would have to be in some kind of intimate contact, and I wouldn't want that. Do you like? Okay, again, Paul. Do you like Tears for Fears' "Woman in Chains" music video? No, I think it's kind of dull. I don't really like Tears for Fears after songs from The Big Chair. Now, I guess "Sowing the Seeds of Love" is a pretty catchy pop song, Beatlesque sort of pop song. But I thought most of what they did that was interesting and valuable was on their first two albums, "The Hurting" and "Songs from the Big Chair." Of course, that was the first concert I ever saw. It was Tears for Fears when they came to Atlanta to the Fabulous Fox in, I think, something like October of 1986. Do you like Donnie Iris's Aaliyah music video? You remind me of him. That's a compliment, high praise. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't think I look anything like him. And I certainly don't have his rich, resonant singing voice. He's so interesting because he's so geeky looking, but he's got this like this heavy metal singer voice. I love the song Aaliyah, and I like the video. It's been a while since I've watched it. Thanks for reminding me of it. It's a great song. I'm gonna listen to it again. Maybe get hooked on it again after I'm done recording this video. Paul Wright asks, "Do you like the Tube She's a Beauty" music video? I like the song, and I guess the video is kind of interesting, like the carnival barker, saying "Step right up and don't be shy." The thing about that song that I think is interesting is the guy lying? The guy, he sounds like a shyster. He sounds like he's selling a bill of goods. He's saying she's a beauty, and then saying, "Why would I lie?" And that makes you wonder, well, is he lying? Why would he say, "Why would I lie"? Another good song. Another 80s kind of semi-metal, not really metal, but hard rock song done by guys who don't look hard rock at all. They look more new wave, but it's a good song. Are you concerned that CERN could find the skeleton key to open Pandora's box at the bottomless pit of the proverbial rabbit hole in Hades? I'm not sure that hasn't already happened, frankly, given everything that's gone down. It wouldn't surprise me if something like that has happened or is unfolding right now in front of our eyes. Who knows? What is your astute opinion of Flashdance 1983? I like how you put the year of the movie. like there's another Flashdance from 2004 or something. I have no opinion of Flashdance 1983. I know it was a huge pop culture moment in the 80s. It started the whole trend of leg warmers and just a Steel Town Girl on a Saturday night. I don't even know if I've seen Flashdance. I've seen Footloose. Flashdance was raunchier. It was rated R. I was just 12 in 1983. So I didn't see it. By the time I was old enough to see it, I wasn't really interested to see it. So I don't know. Um, okay, two more questions from Paul that I'm going to answer. Do you like Craig Wasson, Deborah Shelton, and Greg Henry in Body Double? Boy, those names mean nothing to me, but I do remember the movie Body Double. 1984, yeah. I didn't see it when it came out, but I saw it later on video. I like De Palma. Film snobs seem to despise Brian De Palma, but they just think he's a pale imitation of Hitchcock. But I've always enjoyed his movies. I don't know if there's anything incredibly deep to them, but they're fun. And he obviously you see in them a love of filmmaking. There's an intricacy to it. I think my favorite. I mean, The Untouchables was one of my favorite movies in the 80s. An immensely entertaining movie, very violent. Body Double. Boy, it's been a long time since I've seen it. It was it was very controversial. People thought it was misogynistic, and this is before people spazzed out about misogyny all the time. But they were. De Palma was like an early. He got canceled. He never really got canceled, but he always had people, politically correct people, bitching about him. So, last question: do you like Poppy's Bleach Blonde Baby music video? I like the song. I like the era of Poppy that is Titanic Sinclair. And I think Titanic Sinclair gets all the credit, should get all credit for the lyrics and the music. I think he was the brains of the operation. And now Poppy's gone on to do metal, and I'm not interested. I ceased being interested in Poppy once she dissed Titanic Sinclair and left him behind. I'm a fan of Titanic Sinclair. I know he's maybe been objectionable, has behaved objectionably from time to time, but I think he's very talented, and I think he was, when it was him and Poppy together, I saw a couple shows. I saw one in Nashville and one in Atlanta, and at different times with my daughter. We were both fans. But the Bleach Blonde Baby music video, yeah, it's like they are. The whole Poppy thing was like this meta kind of experiment. It was not experiment, but they were showing all this Illuminati imagery and stuff, but I think they were doing it consciously. So I don't think that they were actually part of the Illuminati, or that they were actually literally, selling their souls to the industry. It always seemed just like really wicked satire to me. And you see that also with Titanic Sinclair's first band, Mars Argo, which I also like. All right. On that note, I will bring things to a close, and we'll do one more video to wrap up all your questions.